I guess we'll get started. We'll introduce ourselves, and then I copied some links in the chat for like the plugins that we're going to be using and the software. So yeah, like if you go to the bottom in their chat, like I posted one for GitHub, and then Mecha Bricks, that's like a website, and then Blender, where you'll download the software if you haven't already. The one that we're going to be using today.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So yeah, my name. Well, you know, it's Alvaro. It says it on the screen. I'm the innovative media librarian at the library Orbach. I started like a couple weeks before COVID, like all this started. So I was on campus for like a few weeks. So, and then Ray, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Ray Gonzalez, and I am the Maker Services Coordinator. I manage the Makerspace at UCR, also known as the Creat'R Lab. And yeah, welcome everyone.
Oh yeah, thank you for joining us. So yeah, see more people just joined. So, yeah, welcome everyone. So I mentioned earlier before you jumped on that in the chat I have 3 links that I copied there. So those are for the websites that we're going to be using for today for the workshop, in case you wanted to follow along. And if I at any time go too fast, or if you have any questions, feel free to let me or Ray know, and I could slow down, or we could try to answer them for you. But for today, it's going to be fairly simple. We're both going to go over how to use Blender, like very basically, to like rig a figure, so that you can like create little animations on your own. So let me share my screen.
Okay, you should take notes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So you should be able to see my screen. Do you guys see? It says Mecha Bricks. Okay. So on this site, you're gonna have to create an account if just so that you can download the figures from this site. So this site is pretty cool. It's pretty much like a database of like things people have created that from like Lego. So people have recreated like the actual sets that are like on sale, figures. You can search on your own. I mean, there's like almost everything you could think of here. And today what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to, instead of creating a figure on our own from scratch,
Sorry, Alvaro.
sorry,
I accidentally muted you.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't realize I would mute you too. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, it's okay. So I'm not sure how much you guys heard, but I shared the screen, so you guys should see mechabricks.com. That's where I'm on right now. So this site is where we're gonna download our 3D model to rig in Blender. So yeah, if you guys want, you can create an account because if you don't, it won't let you like download the figure. That's if you're trying to follow along with me. So once you create an account, I'll just show you. So you just pretty much if you click on like your name, you'll have like your library of like projects that you've worked on this site. And if you go to library on the top, that's where you could do the search for like the models and like the Lego sets and all that. So I'm just gonna download a Spider-Man one. So I'm just gonna type in Spider-Man. And then it should give me a bunch of different like Spider-Man Lego figures that people have created on this website and shared. So I'm just gonna go over it with a very basic one, the one on the right. Just because he doesn't have any accessories or anything else going on, so it's easy to just export for what we want to do. So if once you have created your account, you can do the search for like Spider-Man. Click on him. Once you click on him, it loads this 3D view of your model. From here, you have 3 options like rendering, 3D view, and editor. So we're gonna hit editor. And I'll let you guys catch up a little bit. I know I'm going a little quick, but so once you're in the editor, it's just here pretty much you can just play around. Like you could select different parts of Spider-Man. You can hover around him. If you wanted to create a Lego scene, you can do search for like different Lego parts and then click on it and they'll pop up here and you could connect them together. There's a lot of options over here for connecting them. so that they're parented. So that means like if you move one, it moves the whole thing, not just one brick. You can change the color on him, kind of customize it on your own. We're not going to be doing that today, but yeah, so basically here's where we're going to export our figure. So once you created your account, actually, sorry, I forgot one more thing. You also have to, there's a free plugin on the site so that you can export for Blender. So it's free, and then there's also a paid version. The paid version, the advanced version, it just gives you more detail on your model. So like if you're really trying to make like a really nice video, like very detailed and stuff, where you can see like smudges and like fingerprints, and it looks more like a real figure, you would, it's $25. But like for today, just do the light. That one's just a basic export of the model. So when you click on that, you just add to cart, and then it'll take you to your purchases, and then you just need to download the file from there. So to go to your purchases, you just click on your name on the top right, and then you go to purchases over here on the little tabs, and then it'll show what you have purchased from the site. So I have both the advanced and the light. So you just hit download, and it'll download to your computer. And you just need to know where you save it on your computer, because I'm going to show you on Blender how to enable this add-on so that we can, after you export your Spider-Man, you can import him into Blender. So I can show you guys again if you need to, but I'll go back to where I was before. So I'll do the search again. So I'm just going to click on library. I'll type in Spider-Man. And then I'm just going to click on the one on the right, third one. It's like the most simple one. Then once it's done loading, I'll go to editor. Okay, so now that I'm here, you want to export it. So it's pretty basic. It's just you go to File, Export, and then over here on Format, the only thing you need to change is you want it to be a Blender file, so an add-on, so a .zmbx file. So when you click on that, you just click Export, and then it'll export to your computer. Like for me, it'll save in my downloads folder on my Windows. So it just depends where you guys have your destination folder set for downloads. So it'll be there. One thing with Blender for me, I don't know why, but like I have to copy and paste the files over to the desktop once I download them. It doesn't show on the downloads folder when I'm in the program. I don't know if that happens to Ray. Does that happen to you, Ray? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. So maybe you guys won't have that issue. I don't know why it does that with me, but I have to like copy them over to the desktop, and then I can see them. So yeah, guys.
Hey,
So
guys.
now,
Sorry,
Mhm.
you moved a little bit quick here in regards to just making sure that we have everything. Can you just go over again? Everything's been downloaded in regards to the free light version. Just can you go back to the library, to the Spider-Man, and just
oh yeah.
where
Yeah.
where those things need to be done? I arrived a little late.
Oh no, it's okay. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go back right now and show you. So right here from the home screen, you just go to the top where it says library. And then, sorry, my internet's a little slow. But then here where you have to search on the top right, I just typed in Spider-Man. And then it'll give you a lot, but the one I'm using is the one on the right, just because it's just a figure by itself. I don't have anything else with it, just for today. But I mean, on your own, you guys can play around and do other imports. You can import scenes and create your own little animations with that. But yeah, once you're here, you click on Spider-Man. And once it's finished loading, you can just click on Editor on the top right. So that's the third one. So when you click on Editor, it'll take you to the section where I was, where you can like do all those modifications or add things to them, change colors. But for today, we're just gonna leave them as is. So for now, we just go to File because we're ready to export them. Then just go to Export, and then on the format, you just want to make sure it says Blender, and then you just hit Export. And then when you do that, it'll send it to your like your downloads folder, I think, or wherever you have it set to. So okay. All right, guys. So I think for now, we have all the stuff we need from this site. So we have our model. You created your account. So now in the future, you can go here and get other figures and parts that you want to play around with if you're trying to create an animation. Also, we have the add-on that we're going to import into Blender. So the last add-on we need is it's called the Epic Fig Rig. So I added the link to the chat. So if you click on that, it'll take you here and GitHub. So you just want to download the code. You'll download the zip. Once you download it, we're gonna go into Blender, and I'll show you how to add add-ons to Blender. And it's fairly simple there once we have the file. So okay, I'll let you guys like catch up a little bit. Let me bring up the Blender software. Oh, and also if you don't have Blender already installed on your computer, I also added the link for that. So it's just blender.org, and that's the software we're going to be using to do the rigging and animation. So you just want to download the latest file and install it on your computer or Mac. So, and it shouldn't take too long to install. And this is an open source software. So what's really cool about it is that like you get a lot of add-ons from people that make their own. They share them for free. They're always constantly adding new features. So there's a lot of things you can do with this software. Not just like animation, you can do 3D modeling, you can prep your files for 3D printing, video editing, you can do stop motion videos. Yeah, it's like it's a lot. It's very versatile. So yeah, so once you download and then install it, let me open up Blender. Okay. So let me see. I'll give you guys like a minute or two, I guess, to catch up, just in case. I don't know if anyone has any questions so far. I can take this time to answer them for you, or Ray too. And also feel free to in the chat if you have any questions. Yeah, Ray can help answer those as well. All right, guys. So let's see. I'll show you now how to add add-ons to the software for Blender. So it's very simple. So you just want to go to Edit, and then you go to Preferences. So again, you just go to the top, go Edit, Preferences. Once you go to Preferences, let me see. You'll get this window. So you just go to Add-ons, and then you go to the top where it says Install. So once you do this, you get the search window. So you just need to search for those files that we downloaded, like the from Megabricks and the one that I gave you from GitHub. So for me, they're on the desktop. So for the Epic Fig Rig, you just want to click on the file you downloaded, and once you do, you do install add-on. I already have that add-on on mine, so I'm not gonna do it. And also for the Mecha Brick one. So once you do this one, you want to come back to this and repeat the process again. So you would go to Edit, Preferences, then you would let me see, go to Install once you have add-ons highlighted over here, and then you would look for the other file. So on me, it's in the desktop. So here's the two that I want to install: the Mecha Bricks Advanced, and then the Epic Fig Rig Master. So once I installed those two, and you go back to Blender, if you go to File and then Export, you should have that over here on the left. So stand for yours. Oh, no, I'm sorry, import. I'm sorry, not export, import. So you should have mechabricks.css ZMBX at the very bottom. If you go to File and then Import. And then to make sure you have the other add-on on your keyboard, you want to press N as in Nancy. So once you press N, you'll get this pop up on the right. So you just want to go over to the one that says Epic Fig Rig. And then here's where we're going to be using all these options to work on our figure. And it's fairly simple once we have these add-ons installed. And I'll show you real quick right now. So I'll give you a couple minutes to see if you to let you catch up. I could show you again if you need me to, if you have any questions. Oh, and we're also recording this workshop. So once the recording's out, it'll be on our YouTube channel for the library. So you can always feel free to go back to that and just watch it again if you needed to get a little refresher on what we went over today. And also feel free to look me and Raymond up. At the end of the workshop, we'll put our emails, and you can always email us if you have any questions. Like if you're working on an animation video and you forgot something, you can email us and we'll be happy to answer questions and help you with your projects. Okay, guys, so I'll move on. So when you open Blender, you see this cube here. We're gonna delete it because we don't want it in our scene, but I'll just show you some of the basics for Blender real quick, just so that you know how to navigate and stuff. So if your button has the mouse wheel, you can scroll in and out. And also my mouse has the button on the mouse wheel. So if I click on that and hold, it lets me span around the object. Also up here on the right, you can click on this and it'll let you kind of move around the XYZ axis too. So it's just up to you what you want to look at on your model. Like if you want a top view, bottom view, you could either use this on the top or your mouse. Over here on the left for Blender, it's just pretty much just the tools that you have, like selection, you have the cursor to move the object, rotate the object, scaling, transforming, basic stuff, annotating. Today we're not going to get into modeling. We had another workshop and we will have another one in the future where we'll show you how to do a lot of modeling and how to work with the vertices and the faces and how to create a model from scratch. Yeah, just keep your eye out for that workshop, and that's a really neat one to just get you going on the basics of how to use the software for creating stuff. So let me see. So I'm just going to click on this file. I'm going to delete it. So I'm just going to click delete on my keyboard to get rid of it. And I left clicked on my mouse to select it. Or you can use the keyboard and just select A, and that'll select anything that's there, and then you can delete it from there. So now that I have this gone, I already have my Spider-Man file downloaded. So I'm going to go to File, Import. So I'm going to go to mechabricks.zmbx. Let me see. So now that I have this, I'm going to locate them on my computer. So it's desktop. So I have here spiderman.zmbx. So I'll just click on that, import. So now you see I have my Spider-Man figure here. Right now it's not rendered, so it's not going to show like all the details and stuff. I'll do that towards the end because my computer is really slow. If I do that, it'll kind of just lag for a little bit or crash on me. Ray has a better computer, so when he does his, he's going to go over some stuff too, so maybe he can show you some of that as well. So as you can see, I could zoom around, look at my character from top view, right view. So what we want to do to rig them, it's really easy once you have the add-on over here on the right. So you just want to shift click. So you just hold shift on your keyboard and then you left click on your mouse. So you want to select every single part on him. So the two legs, the little middle piece. I don't know if you're familiar with Legos, but there's like a little middle piece that connects the torso to the legs. Then you want the arms on both sides, the hands, and then the head. So once everything's selected, Oh, I forgot the torso. So yeah. So make sure everything's selected. If not, you'll get an error. And you can kind of verify. You can zoom around him. Like if you see these lines, he's selected. If not, then just you have to hold shift and click to select that piece. So from here, it's very simple. You just go over to your Epic Fig add-on on the right. You'll have this menu come up. All you have to do is go to Rig Selected Minifigure. Let me see. Might have not selected something. There you go. So now you see that add-on is really useful. So it just like, it did the rigging for me. So I didn't have to manually do that. Ray is actually, once I'm done with this, gonna show you how you can actually rig it manually, but it takes a lot more work. So he's not gonna show you like the full process, but he will show you like on like maybe the leg or the arms, just so that you can get a feel for both. So now that I have my character rigged, I can do a lot of things for animation. So let me just show you up here. So on the very top left, you see how it says object mode. If you click on the little down arrow, you'll have an object mode, edit mode, and pose mode. So for the animation stuff, for the rig, I want to go to pose mode. So when you're in pose mode, you should see different colored lines now. Like you have the blue, the green. They all represents the bones on the fig. So you have like the bones for your legs, the arms, the head. So these are what we're gonna click to like move him around. So it's really easy too. So if I click on this right here, it'll turn white, the little lines. So there's one on the front and on the back. Then I just click G on my keyboard, and then I can move his hand. So you can see it moves the whole part attached to his body too. And then if I want to move the other arm, I just click on that line, type G. You should see those arrows, and then I can move that as well. Then if I want to move the head, I can just click on that. It'll turn white, and then I want to rotate it, so I'll click R. So you see I can rotate the head now. And for the legs, it's also a G for grab. If you click on the little lines, so you see I can make them kick. I could do the other leg. So you can see it's fairly simple to use. And then if you want to move the body, it's this arrow right here for the torso, and I click G on the keyboard. And you see when I move them, it kind of moves the legs too. So it helps if you're trying to make a walk animation. So then you just kind of have to worry about positioning the arms. So you would, for each keyframe, you would just go to the arm and move them. So it's pretty cool. Like you could do a lot with this. So I'll rotate them around. And then some of these you can play around too. If you click on those arrows, it kind of just moves this up and like gives it another little animation. And this just kind of moves the whole figure if you click on that. That's like the master bone at the bottom. Yeah, so I'm gonna let Ray, I guess, take over. He's gonna show you how to like manually like do this, like the rigging. And then after that, he'll show you how to do some keyframing so that you can kind of create like a small little animation sequence on this. And it's pretty cool. I could show you on the top. It would just go. You would go to animation, and then you would do the keyframing here. So Ray's gonna go over that, and then he's gonna show you how to rig this guy manually, like some of his like legs and arms and stuff. So all right, Ray. So I'll hand it over to you.
All right, let's see. Okay, so actually what I'll do is I'll actually go over how you can rig this manually first, and then I'll show you the keyframes using the manual rig. So pretty much to rig this manually, what you'll do is, so I'm actually not using the rigging library or the add-on that Alvaro was using. So this is just the object without any rigging yet. So what I'll do is I'll hit Shift A, and then I'll go to Armature, and then I'll do single bone. Right, so you can't really see it's right there. So I'm gonna actually scale it up just so you can see it. Move it over to the side. So this is what so this is a rigging bone. So what you could do with this is so the thicker end is actually like the joint, right? And so what I'll do is I'll actually connect this to the arm. So I'm just going to rotate this. So I'll hit R and then X and 180, and I'll move this up. Right. What we can also do with the bones is if I click on one of the bones, I'll click on this icon right here. So this just opens up the object data properties. In this case, this is an armature. And then, so now, oops, let's see. Where'd it go? Oh, so once I go here, then I'll go to Viewport Display. And then I'm going to turn on in front. So what this does is it's always going to show the armature, even though it's inside inside the object. So what I'll do is I'll make this completely flat. Right, so I'm just going to line it up. You can see, right, and then I'll go the other side. And don't mind that. That's just like a kind of like a humanoid 3D model that I'll show you how to use an actual body rig. So there's actually templates of rigs that Blender provides. So I'll show you how to do that afterwards. But this is kind of like the basic way to rig. So I'm gonna click on X. I'm just gonna make sure it's in the right spot, right? And then what I'll actually do is I'll kind of try to follow this arm. All right, so this is kind of easy for Legos just because it kind of the motion of the arm is kind of like just along one axis. So what I'll do now is I'll click on my object. Well, actually, first what I'll do is I'll actually parent the hand to the arm, just so that if I move the arm, the hand moves as well. So I'm going to click on this, right? And then I'm going to shift click the arm, and then I'm hit Control P to bring up my parenting options, and then I'll say parent to object. So now if I move this arm, the hand also follows, right? So now what I could do is I'll actually parent the arm to the bone armature. So I'm going to click on the arm, then shift click on the bone. Okay. And then now I'm going to hit Control P, and then I'm just going to click on Armature Deform. So now what this does is it parents to the bone. So now what happens is if I go into pose mode, right? So now if I rotate the bone, oh, oops. Well, I don't think I did that correctly. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me try that again. Oh no, why isn't it working? Oh. Oh, there. Okay. Let me see. Let me just. Oh, I see. Because it's in pose mode. So, so actually, you don't actually need to use pose mode. So what pose mode does is, in this mode, you're able to move the different objects, right, as you wish. But the moment that you leave pose mode, it'll snap. Oh shoot! Actually, I don't know why. I should snap back. Well, anyways, I'm just going to do this in object mode. I'm not sure why it's not snapping or it's not following the bone, but as you can see, as I move this bone, right, you see how the arm is also moving. Right, so now what I could do is, so you could go into animation, or you could actually just use the layout view. And what you want is this thing called the dope sheet. So I'm going to click on this little icon right here, and then I'm going to click on dope sheet. So what this does is it allows me to use any, I could change any value over a period of time. So for example, I'm going to say at the 10th frame, and I'm going to click on my bone. All right. And then, so now what I'll do is I'll actually move along the x-axis. So I'll right click this and click insert keyframes. Right. So now what happened is you'll see that my keyframe is created at the 10th frame. So what it's doing is it's locking it at 151 degrees on the x-axis, right? So the moment that I move it over here, right, I'll say I want it between the 10th frame and the 40th frame. I want it to move up, let's say to right here, right? So now what I'll do is I'll right click and click on insert keyframe, right? So now you can kind of see that as I press the space bar, right, it's doing that animation, right? So I could even move it lower if I want to. And then I'll just say, insert keyframe, right? So you can kind of see that, right? So that's how you could animate the object and using keyframes. So if I were to, and you could do this actually, this also works with the rig that Alvaro created as well. So you could actually animate it using keyframes that way as well. I'll show you one more thing. And so this over here is just a humanoid rig that I found online, or not a rig, but it's a humanoid 3D model that I found online. And so what I could do now is, let me just delete this, get that out of the way. Center. So if I actually go and then I click on, well, actually, I think you need to add the add-on first. So there's an add-on that already comes with Blender. It's just turned off. So if I go to edit and then preferences, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's called Rigify. So I'm just going to go into my add-ons and then turn that on. And that should allow me to go to Armature, right? And if I go to, let's say, so you could do a human meta rig. That's a lot more. So I'll just show you what it looks like. So add it right there. And let me move this over. So this is the humanoid meta rig. So this is it's pretty detailed in what you can move. So you actually have the detail up to the finger, the fingers. You could also control the face and the bone structure in the face and stuff like that. But that's up to you if you want to use that. What I'm going to use is actually, if I go to basic and then basic human. So I'm actually going to use this one. Right, so it's a lot more basic than the meta rig. So I'm just gonna align this. Right, so again, if I click on my rig and then go to the object properties and then go to view display port and then in front, and I turn that on, now I could see it through any object. So what I'll do is I'll click on, let me just bring this down. I'll click on my rig and hit tab to go into edit mode, or you could, click here and then go into edit mode. What this will allow me to do is kind of align the rig with my 3D model. So I could grab, my dog wants to go up. Okay, so what I could do now is I could grab these points, or like where these joints are, and then I'll click on G, and then now I could move it to where I need to. So actually, so I'll move it this way, and I'll move it along this axis. And let's see. Let me actually scale this up a little bit more. Yeah, that looks about right. So again, I'll click on my rig and go to edit mode. And then I'm just gonna slowly move this to kind of match my 3D model. All right. And then now I could go from this side. Actually, let me move the 3D model back. Okay. Mode. All right, so pretty much I was able to align the arm to match my 3D model. So actually what I'll do is just to save some time, I'm going to open up the rig that I already rigged it. So let me open this. Okay, so now, hold on a second. Okay, so now that I have this rigged, what you can do is, oh, actually, sorry, I think this one's already rigged. So I'll just kind of show you really quickly on how this works, or how you connect the rig to the 3D model. So I'm just going to import that object again. Okay, so let me just turn that. Oh, let me get out of post mode. Okay, so again, so let's say that I have my basic rig for a human, right? And then I'm not going to align this one, but what I'll do is when I'm ready, I'll click on my object, and then I'll click on the rig, shift click on the rig. Oops, let me click on the object first, and then shift click the rig, and then if I hit Control P, I'll do Armature, and then I'll actually choose Deform, Armature Deform with automatic weights. So now what this will do is it'll actually, let me see. So now if I go to pose mode, so you can kind of see that, well, it's not aligned well, or it's not aligned, so it kind of looks weird. But you can see that it actually connected to the rig. So let me delete this. Oops. Object mode and delete this. All right, so now go to pose mode. You can see that now I can rotate these, right? So now it kind of like rotates the 3D object. And the thing too about the 3D object is it's like one solid object. So so this also allows you to I guess, well, with this type of rig, it allows you to move objects that aren't necessarily divided by the different body parts, right? Like the Lego. So the Lego has like a separate part for the arms and for the legs. And so what this rig allows you to do, and you could also manually create your own rig as well, and by just creating different armature bones. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to kind of turn a completely, solid object also into and be able to move that using the armature bones. So as you can see, now I can move these, right? So let's see. Let's okay. So again, to animate this using keyframes, right? I just need to make sure I have my dope sheet, right? Or I could go into animation as well, but I'll just leave it in layout just so you kind of see it better. All right, so now what I'll do is, I'll start on the 10th frame, and then I'm going to say, oh, not object mode, pose mode. All right, so what I'll do is I'll make him kind of like raise his hand, I guess. So I'll click that, and then I'll make sure that the rotation, right, is set. So I want it to rotate this way. So I'm going to insert the keyframe, right? Right there, and I'll say, and I'll move on to this frame. Replace keyframes, right? And then I'll have the arm and the shoulder move up a little bit. Oh, actually, so the thing when you're using like different I guess different bones or joints, what you have to do is it kind of has like its own I guess like keyframe. Like each bone has its own like I guess keyframe layer, right? So if I actually open this up, you could kind of see that, the forearm, right, it has its own keyframe. And so now if I go here, I want to start this at let's say insert keyframes, right? So now that's like the starting position, right? So now when I move the shoulder, let's say to at the 40th frame, I can rotate the shoulder up this way, and then I'll insert my keyframes there. When I rotate this elbow, I can also add some keyframes here. So now you'll kind of see that animation. And actually what I'll do is I'll take out the in front for the display port, so that way you kind of see animation moving. So, and I know it's like, it looks kind of weird because it's, you're kind of animating, a solid object. It would look better if like each body part were separate, but essentially that's how you could do some basic animation. And, it does take a little bit longer, right? So you have to kind of set up like, where the movement, from beginning to end. And you have to do that pretty much for every joint that you want to move. But essentially that's how you could animate your object using, and this is using the rigs or the armature in Blender. And again, you could do the same thing with the the rig add-on that Alvaro showed you as well. So yeah, that's it for my part. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, I guess we could open up to questions. Oh, okay. And in regards to okay. So first, in order to see or in order to import the ZMBX file into Blender, we have to go. You have to turn on the add-on first. So if I go into Edit and then Preferences. And then I forgot what it's called. I think it's called it's called the Epic Fig Rig, right? You just need to make sure that that is turned on. And if you don't see it, you just probably need to close Blender and then open it back up again. But once you turn on that add-on, the Epic Fig Rig, if you go to File Import, you should see Mecha Bricks on the bottom, where you could import the ZMBX file. Another issue too that we noticed, and I'm not sure if it's like a browser specific issue, but I remember Alvaro, when we were first testing this out, Alvaro, were you using Mozilla?
Yeah, I had that issue. It was Mozilla, and it like zipped the file, and then for some reason it cut off the Z on the extension, so Blender wasn't finding it. Then I have the same question from Rachel. I think she's having issues too finding the add-on. So for the to be able to import the characters from the Lego, it's if you go to the search and type in Mecha, then you should see Mecha Bricks Advanced or Mecha Bricks Lite, I think. So if you have to check that box, and then when you check that, then when you go to File Import, you should see the Mecha Bricks, the .zmbx. And the same for the Epic Fig Rig too. You would search it there if you haven't installed it yet, and then if it's installed, you just do a search for the Fig Rig, and then you just have to make sure it's checked. And then sometimes you just need to restart Blender too after you do that.
And to answer Bob's question, which programs do you suggest for designing the 3D model before importing to Blender or for rigging? So you could actually use Blender to design your 3D models. So to do that, you would just, hold on, if I go into object mode, you could, I guess for, let me see, just like a very simplified version. So here's like a cube, right? So Blender itself is like actually a 3D modeling software, but I mean, I could actually kind of create a leg really quickly. Oops. Let me see, edit, face. I'll actually extrude out. So, I could just, make a quick 3D model, and then I could actually, rig, whatever I create as well, or in Blender. So you could actually create the model within Blender itself, and then add the rig. But, you could also import, 3D models. So I actually found this it's a website called, hold on, let me change my screen share. So there's a bunch of websites that you can use to, hold on. Okay, so I actually got this from free3d.com. So I just typed in humanoid. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for. Some of them are actually rigged already, at least from Free3D. So Free3D is kind of like a, you could buy assets for, or download assets for, for Blender and for other like 3D animation software. I think they have like some Maya files, and I think the other one is like Cinema 4D. But for some, it tells you what file type that it comes in. So, OBJ and STL, that's pretty standard. So you'll be able to use that. You could actually find like, I'll just type in Spider-Man. So you can actually find, so unfortunately there's no like Blender files here. Well, let me see, like, oh yeah, so I could just click on Blender, and then so it'll actually have the actual Blender projects if you want to, if you want to be able to, I guess, edit in much more detail than just an STL or an OBJ file. But yeah, so there's this website. There's also thingiverse.com. So thingiverse.com is primarily used for 3D printing, but you can also find some great, some great 3D objects. You can download as an STL, and you can actually use that as well. Import that into Blender, and then you could rig that, or you could use it in Blender as well. So let me stop sharing. But yeah, Blender is a very versatile software. People use it for 3D modeling, for 3D printing. You could also use it for, as you've seen, you can use it for animation. What else? People use it to create assets for like video game design as well, or like for video games and stuff like that too. But yeah, it's a very very versatile software. You could even do like stop motion videos, visual effects, which we'll actually kind of go over in the next part of this Blender series this quarter.
I think February 27th.
Yeah, I believe so. Let me double check.
Let me see.
February 20.
Oh, 24th? Yeah, 24th, right?
Oh yeah, so February 24th.
Mhm.
We'll have the next part of this. I guess the follow-up workshop regarding rigging and animation. So we'll actually use a rigged. We could use the Lego. So we'll kind of use the rigged Lego and animate it, and then we'll show you how to kind of use it as CGI. And if you record a video, you could do. We'll show how to do motion tracking, so that so there's actually I think I deleted it, but when you start a new project, there's actually a camera, a virtual camera. So it'll show. We'll show you how to track the motion of the camera from pretty much any video, and then make this virtual camera mimic it. So then we could place the 3D object or whatever object and make it seem like it's actually in that video. So so that'll be coming up in was it no sorry, it was Wednesday, February 24th.
Yeah,
So
24th.
if you didn't register for that, feel free to register for that. I think it's UCR Library
Yeah.
event, right?
And we also have like a series of meetups like every other week too, where we talk about different topics. So we just had one last week. We talked about photography, and we had some faculty and students come and show their work. We have one coming up on the 5th. Someone's going to be doing a bookbinding tutorial. And then we're going to do one on the 19th of February, which will be talking about audio and music production. And then the final meetup will be March 5th, and it'll be Arduino and electronics. If you are interested in any of those topics, yeah, please feel free to join us. Also, we're gonna have a paint night where Ray and myself will just we'll give you guys like a list if you sign up of things to get, and then we're gonna just show how to do like a little painting. But it'll be like Valentine's Day themed, so it'll be fun. So yeah, feel free to join us for any of that, and keep an eye out for other like Blender workshops or workshops throughout the quarter and next quarter. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other questions. You can also feel free to email us to my email. I'll type it in right now. It's just alvaro.alvarez@ucr.edu, and for Raymond, it's the same. Let me send it out.
Actually,
I'll type it. So
I'll add the Creat'R Lab email.
Oh, okay,
That
yeah,
might
that's
be
probably
easier
better.
to just
Uh-huh.
contact both of us. So you don't have to. We both have access to that email. So I'll just add it right here.
Yeah, and yeah, feel free to email us with questions about this workshop too. If like you're playing around with this and you forget anything, or you want to learn anything new on this that we didn't cover, we could show you, and we can have like a Zoom session with you or something and go over it. So yeah. Well, if
Yeah.
yeah, did you have
Does
anything
anybody have?
else?
Oh, I didn't have anything, but if anybody has any other questions, we have about 5 minutes left. So yeah, feel free to drop any questions if you have any before we conclude this workshop. Yes, so Blender will run on a Mac. It works pretty well, but when it comes to like graphic or I guess graphic intensive or so once you start rendering objects, it might be a little slow. I have a MacBook Pro myself, but yeah, so it definitely it runs on the Mac pretty well. It's just more, when you get more into like the heavier stuff, like such as like very detailed rendering and stuff like that. It could do it. It'll just be a little slow.
Yeah, like,
But also depends on like it depends on your hardware, I guess, as well, on your computer. But they do offer what's it called? They do offer like an installation file for Mac if you go to the Blender website.
yeah, like for me, I could kind of share what I was working on, but I kind of stopped because my computer is like really slow. It just crashes when I try to like add more things to the scene and stuff. So let me share real quick. So I just kind of have Mando walking, and I don't know if you guys see it, the Blender screen. So I just have him walking and then coming up, and then he puts his little gun. And I was gonna add like audio from the show where he says you could come hot or cold with me. I don't remember the exact quote, but yeah, let me play it. So I just have him walking and just puts the gun, and I was gonna add the audio. And then I was just gonna add some other like stormtroopers and like some other stuff from that site around here, so it looks like a little scene. But when I tried to add that, because my computer's a little like slower, older, yeah, it doesn't work too well. It'll take a long time to render, and sometimes it just crashes. I think Ray doesn't have that issue. He has like a really good gaming PC. And yeah, well, yeah. Hopefully, once I upgrade my computer, I'll be able to do like more elaborate scenes with this. And yeah. Oh yeah, you're welcome, everyone. So yeah, yeah. So I guess yeah, have a good rest of your afternoon. Yeah, thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it. And I hope you guys learned something from us. And then yeah, and you have our contact info, so we'll be looking for your emails if you have any questions for us. And good luck with the rest of the quarter, and stay safe during these COVID times.